So. Okay. Good morning, all. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Sullivan County IDA, Monday, May 12th, approximately 11:10 a.m. Julio, can you do roll call for us?
Yes, Mr. Siegel,
Present.
Mr. Siegel's present, Ms. Lara.
Here.
Ms. Lara's present, Mr. Smith. Present. Mr. Smith is present, Mr. Gunter. Here. Mr. Gunter is present, Mr. Valon.
Yeah.
Mr. Valon is present, Mr. Steinberg.
Yeah.
Mr. Steinberg is present, Mr. Brooks.
Here.
Mr. Brooks is present, Mr. Perrella.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hold up, everybody. Okay, has everyone had a chance to read the meeting minutes of the last meeting we had, April, which is April 7th?
Yep.
I need a motion. Kathleen, Sean, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so carried. Bills and communications.
We have 10 bills, for an amount of $12,862.70.
There's no changes to
No.
what was before us? Has everyone had a chance to look at it? I need a motion to accept these bills. Okay, do you have that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that's carried. Staff report, anything? Jen?
I have no updates or changes. Does anyone have any questions from the staff report?
We need a motion for that, correct? Okay, new business. So we just came out of 3 public hearings on the adoption of a video conferencing policy. We had some comment from the public. I need a motion to pass this resolution as stated.
I have, some thoughts about it. You know, I voted against it in the legislature because I think people take advantage of it. You know, they sit home, they rather not come to the meeting. It's an inconvenience to come maybe or whatever, and they sit home. And, so going forward, I'm gonna probably vote no.
Okay.
This is more limiting. That's fine.
Yeah.
But this is more limiting. And only allows participation remotely by video conference under extraordinary circumstances. And we have included a list of extraordinary circumstances, one of which is not you sit home because you don't want to come to the meeting. It's very narrowly defined. I don't typically want to get into a debate with anybody in the public, but what Mr. Walter passed out here are recommendations.
Oh, no, it has nothing to do with it.
Okay. It has, these are recommendations.
Just like I don't like people working from home either, so it's just my thing.
These are recommendations from the State Committee on Open Government. There's a lot of other recommendations by other equally well-trained public bodies that disagree with this. The one thing that Mr. Walter pointed out, which is in our policy and which is in the law, is that you do not count toward a quorum unless you're in the room. That's in our policy as proposed, and it's in the law. The rest, the law is very brief and subject to interpretation. New York State Committee on Open Government has interpreted it in a certain way. So have lots of other authorities, and we have proposed, and what this resolution would do is adopt a very middle of the road policy, not all the way as technically described as the Committee on Open Government's suggestions, and nowhere near as loosey-goosey as some of the other commentators who have written policies relating to this very short law, which says you can participate remotely. It doesn't have any of the details in the law that are in the Committee on Open Government's publications that were handed out. But it's very narrow. I can give them to you if you.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to adopt the, I'd like to make a comment. Everybody learned about the advantages of Zoom, if you will, during COVID. And all of a sudden, meetings that had maybe 4 or 5 people out of 10 showing up, you'd have 100% attendance. In other words, you had everybody involved in the process. It's ironic because it's one of the reasons why government is so inefficient and private companies do just fine. Or non-government. I happen to be on the board of the largest employer in New York State. And we have Zoom meetings and approve $100 million bond issue. And everybody's involved and everybody's aware of what they're doing. Just a comment.
Right,
Is that a
what
second
happens,
to the motion?
Sean will second the motion, but, you know, using a law or adopting a policy is not gonna fix whether you have the right people on a committee or not. If the IDA doesn't have the right people on a committee, that's on as board members, that's where it should start, not necessarily enforcing, you know, or interpreting, allowing somebody to make a decision that can't get in for medical reasons, et cetera. If we have that group here, sad for us. Anyway, we have a motion and it's been approved. All in favor?
Aye.
And I'm a no.
Okay, any opposed would be Joe. So carried. And we have a bunch of different resolutions coming up with a little bit more fun, okay? Authorizing amendment of the Outlaw Development LLC payment in lieu of taxation agreement to authorize acceptance of a guarantee from EPR as financial security for the 2026 pilot payment. Going just a quick.
We've done what we've done in the past, which is to look at their liquidity, the liquidity of the guarantor. They have $1 billion line of credit with very little drawn against it. So the guarantor certainly is stout enough that it makes sense to consider a waiver. We've waived it in the past.
I need a motion.
Second.
One, Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so that's carried. We have extending the sales tax abatement period for New York Forestburg One LLC project from June 1, 25 through and including November 30th, 25. I need, you want to explain that? Because that's solar
Jen can
project.
explain it. It's just a routine extension because we limit them to 6 months at a time to make sure that they're compliant. There really isn't much that they need to do to be compliant for this type of project.
Right, they submitted a brief request saying we're still working on the project and they provided a little more detail, which is in the agenda packet. And so they've asked for another 6 months. And as Walter said, it's just in accordance with the project documents. We intend to abate all the sales tax for the life of the development of the project. So that's what this would do.
I'm going to abstain from voting. I'll ask for a motion in a second.
Motion.
Okay,
Second.
Joey and Sean. I'm abstaining as a involved property owner. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so carried. All right, we're directing the recapture of sales and use tax exceeding the authorized amount for Maud Crawford Realty LLC and Bridgeville Ski Company doing business as Holiday Mountain Project. We have some interested parties today. Welcome. Anything you want to discuss?
Sure, I don't know if, so we overspent, and Walter told me originally when I told him in Tilly's one day that I'm gonna buy Holiday Mountain, he thought it was a great idea, we're gonna make a lot of money down there, he told me it's really wise, so. So I brought you guys- I brought some stickers, I brought some details, please pass them down, you guys have to represent Holiday. But no, things are going well, I wanna thank the IDA board, I think to date, I don't know, Jen, how much money we spent?
A lot.
Technical term.
Yeah, so when anytime anybody says, oh, you buy a ski, whatever you think you're gonna spend, you think you're gonna spend double, you don't, you're gonna spend triple. I've learned, so another Hail Mary. So this past year, with your help, I appreciate it. I think we've spent about 12 million maybe down there in the last couple of years.
Julio's probably looking it up right now.
Yeah,
See his
so-
thumbs going.
You know, it's kind of a crazy investment, but it's coming along, and I think we saw a lot more people on skis this year. We're getting a lot more kids out there. We put a new chairlift in last year, as probably people have seen, reopened more terrain. This year, we're now reclaiming a lot of the old area that was closed 20 years ago. We have another chairlift lined up for next spring installation. We're in the works now of doing topography and clearing trees and electrical and all the snowmaking to reopen 4 old trails. We're also gonna open up 3 new ones in between. So a lot going on. We're building a terrain park this summer. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's a really wise financial investment, but it's coming along. We're moving our snow tubing over and building a whole new snow tubing lodge this year. We just kind of saw the flow of the traffic. It's working well. We're bringing a lot of tourists in the area that are experiencing snow tubing just to get out and enjoy the outdoors.
Personally, I think that it's a phenomenal project. We appreciate it. I'm not gonna speak for the board because they're obviously can speak for themselves, but I'm super excited for you and for the area and for all the people that come. It's something that's new and positive, and the energy down there, from what I hear, is tremendous. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the board's help. It's, it really, when you look at a decrepit ski area and trying to spend this kind of money, it works. So we put a lot of people to work. There's a lot of contractors down there every single day working, and American Electric has named their 3rd and 4th child after us. And as you know, we're actually, so we transitioned from a fun park, which is the next part of our project here. The fun park was not really the flavor, the direction we wanted to go. It's either you have to be in a fun park business 110% and make it into great adventure, or we got to find different directions. We're opting to go. My daughter Drew is here. We're going to build a day camp. There's no day camp in central Sullivan County since Camp Winston vanished years ago by Second Lake. So we're restructuring now. We're at the planning board. We're looking at putting in fields, ripping out the fun park activities, putting a pool in, and doing something more for kids. That's what it's about.
Excellent. Thank you, Mike.
So I thank everybody for the
Great
cooperation.
job.
Yeah, anybody need a tour or anything, anytime, let me know. All right, thank you.
I'd like a motion. I need a motion.
The first resolution is because he spent money faster than he got approved.
Okay.
Walter was setting.
Yes.
I'll second the motion.
Kathleen seconded.
So who
All
made
in
that?
favor?
Aye.
Sean did it.
All right, so that's carried. The next one is the same thing in a sense, right?
No, the
sales
first
tax
one was to
abatement.
recapture. The next
Alright.
one is to increase the authorized sales and use tax amount so that he doesn't overspend again.
Okay. I need a motion.
Move it.
Okay, so Joey and Paul, difference, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's carried. And then the third one is for a day camp. What's the third one?
The third one,
Now we're extending the sales tax abatement.
extending the
Again.
period of time. We increased the amount, now we're extending the period of time.
Okay,
Move it.
Because he's not done yet.
all right, Joey and Sean, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's carried. I need a motion to go,
One more.
what?
Now
only have
now
three.
the summer day camp.
Oh, okay. So Iris made a motion to give benefits to for the summer day camp,
Yes.
and Sean is seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's carried. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you again. Continue spending money.
Send the kids.
Someone who brought their kids up here in the lifestyle, it's wonderful what you're doing. Wish you the best of luck.
skis though, Iris, they get your skis in.
Yeah.
All right, I'd like to go into executive session, and then you can explain.
Yeah, the reason is under the open meetings law, it's the proposed acquisition, sale, or lease of real property where publicity would substantially affect the value of that property. So it's letter H in the open meetings.
For Howard. All right. Can I make that motion?
I'll second it.
All right.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
I don't care what happens after that. Can I make public comment just briefly?
Sure.
Okay,
So just briefly was why I said yes.
okay. I've known Mike when I was assistant PAG judge at Monticello Raceway working for the state. And he was an EMT. He was on the ambulance for the track. And he and I would spend many in between races while our track horses runner, and he and I got to know each other. I'm happy for him. He represents what I really believe the only way this county will move forward is when we have homegrown people wanting to do something. People who come in from the outside the area, I've seen them too many times, have wonderful ideas and want to do it, and everybody is dying. But this young man has made a commitment to the community, and it just bolsters what I've always believed. You do it from organic and usually has a better chance of being successful. And good for
Thank
him.
you.
Boy, you got Ken on your
Those are
side.
good comments.
Yeah, that's the year instead of all these years I heard.
Okay, did you turn us off?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks again.